Hello all. So today I'm talking about a Honda with the P0132 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Honda P0132 code? Well, it's an O2 sensor circuit high voltage bank 1 sensor 1. And what does this mean? Well, the onboard computer uses oxygen sensors to detect how much oxygen there is inside of the exhaust after the combustion inside of the cylinders. And it's seeing the air inside of this, so it has to be troubleshooted to know why. And some of the possible causes is it could be a defective O2 sensor, there could be a problem in the wiring, so it could be shorted or open, or it could be corroded, or something else going on inside the wiring. And in some cases, the fuel temperature could be too high, but this is pretty rare. This isn't very common, but it is something to keep in mind that if the fuel temperature is too high, then there might be an issue going on. And so there's going to be two oxygen sensors. There's going to be an upstream and a downstream oxygen sensor. There's going to be one before the catalytic converter and one after the catalytic converter. So they call these the upstream and the downstream oxygen sensors, or O2 sensors. And the upstream oxygen sensor can be located up underneath the vehicle. It's going to vary depending on the Honda, on the year and the engine type and things like this. There can be variations. So it can be located down underneath the vehicle on the exhaust, or it can be located up on top. It can be located on the exhaust manifold. This is fairly common. Where you pop the hood, it's inside the engine compartment right there. But the first thing to do is to locate the oxygen sensor, and mainly the upstream oxygen sensor, since this is what it's pointing to. And after you locate it, go and check out this wiring harness. Be sure it's all plugged in good. Be sure there's no issues with it. You could check for any opens or shorts or anything like this, since bad wiring can cause the same issues as a bad sensor. And what most people would do is they go ahead and swap out the sensor, since it's a low-cost part. I'll jump over on Amazon and give you an idea how much they cost. They range around $40, $50. They're not super high cost parts or nothing. So most people would just go and swap them out. And one thing to mention about these is that there is a special tool that you can buy to remove them. Some people cut the wire and then you can use the socket to get it out and then try to use an open-end wrench to get it in. And that does work on many, but sometimes they're recessed in, mainly on the ones that are on the exhaust manifold. And when they're recessed in like that, you almost need the tool. Again, many people try to use an open-end wrench and they can't get it sometimes. You can look at yours and see how easy it is to get it in with an open-end wrench. But just keep in mind, there is a special tool that you can use to remove and put these in when you go to install them. And so what do you do if you have a Honda with the P0132 code? Well, first thing to do, find the location of the upstream and the downstream oxygen sensor. While this code is mainly pointing to the upstream oxygen sensor, it might be a good idea to go and swap out both, but definitely find the upstream oxygen sensor. Once you find it, check all the wiring out. Be sure this wiring harness all looks good, that it's all plugged in. There's no visible signs of damage or anything like this. At that point, you could either troubleshoot the wiring more, or you could just go ahead and swap out the sensor. Most people would swap out the sensor. And if you do swap out the sensor and that doesn't solve the problem, then very likely there's more of an issue inside of this wiring going back to the onboard computer. So there might be an open, a short, anything along these lines, bad connections. You'd have to go through all the wires to try to find out and see what the issue is. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a real quick, brief overview of how you go about fixing a Honda with the P0132 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If the video helped you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.